Hey, dude, coming at you from Team Shadow Strike, and this is in a response to a comment I received from a one Bob Smith. He was asking me about a budget Link Joker deck, and I started thinking about that a little bit, and the reason I'd been thinking about this idea, and I was going to make a video about it eventually, and then I was just YouTube surfing like I do every now and again, watching other people's Vanguard videos just to kill time, see some other opinions, and I saw this one guy, I'm not going to name names, and it was like me thinking about my quit whining about Link Joker video again. All this guy was doing was, he was just ranting and raving, and I don't, and he had some legitimate claims. Okay, guys, yeah, I've been over this. Yeah, this clan is a pain in the ass, but it can be beat. And he was just like, you need money to play Link Joker. You must be able to spend all this money in order to play the deck, and there's no budget deck that could even come close to competing with the major deck right now, which is Nebula, is fair to say. And he just was flipping out, and it was like, okay, dude, have you forgotten about something? Now, I am not a fan of card games making the best cards a lot of money. But at the same time, if you're in business for anything, you're in it for one reason and one reason only: to make money. That is the point of business. And whenever whenever Bushiroad, or even Konami for that factor, their best cards are going to be worth the most money. Proof being, you win more games with them, they're more consistent, and they're just better. That's just how it is. And that's just how card games are. I don't agree with it, and I've been on the receiving end of it where I've lost to people just because they had the money to spend on other decks. Mainly that came when I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! As a little kid. When I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, I remember when Legend of Blue Eyes, Metal Raiders, and these were the best packs, and it literally came down to, if you had the money to open all the packs and get all the good cards, then you were just better. You couldn't take three Yu-Gi Trial starter decks, throw them together, and just beat one of these people. And if you did, it was by sheer dumb luck. And I remember, if you ever played Yu-Gi-Oh!, you'll know what I mean. I used to play during the Yata Lock format, and I hated Yatagarasu. I hated it with every bone in my body, because when this monster attacked you directly and damaged you when you started your turn, you skipped your draw phase, so you didn't get to draw unless you had a card in your hand that allowed you to draw. And I hated this card, wanted nothing to do with it, until, ironically, I was at the supermarket one day with my mother, and she told me I could pick out one pack, and I picked out one pack, and guess what I happened to pull? Yatagarasu! I still hated the card, but then it came to the point where I hate the card, but only when it's being used against me. And I can understand that mentality as well. But even as a little kid playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, I understood why other people were better than me, and it's because they had the resources to get other cards. And card games just became a lot more important in my life when I couldn't play sports anymore because, two knee operations, neck fusion. If you ever can tell, guys, my neck, just like right here, you can kind of see, maybe not so much because of a webcam, but if you got close, you can see, that my neck doesn't look like a normal person's because of neck fusion. Back surgery, football literally has almost destroyed my body. I don't regret it anyway. I love football to this day, and, I watch football religiously. But they became a lot more important in my life when I had sports taken away and I was going to school and, just doing that kind of thing, because it was a great way to hang out with friends. It was a way to compete, and I love competition, guys, and sometimes even I get overly confident or too competitive. I think everyone has done that at least once, and that's just how I am. But this was a video that I'm going to make. I'm going to show you that Link Joker can be budget. Now, I don't have the exact cards because I just don't, so I'm sorry, Bob. If I had them, I'd build the deck, but I don't. But I'm going to show you my deck and just kind of explain to you what cards in even this deck right here, which is my Starvader Nebula Lord Dragon deck, as it sits, what you would change them with, and it'd make it budget. One second, guys. Apparently UConn won the national championship. I really don't care. So anyway, looking at the grade zeros, there's really no card in your grade zeros in almost any deck nowadays that's going to cost you a great deal of money. Like this right here, this whole stack of cards is worth maybe $3. And, like, this is maybe $1. You know, your triggers you can get out of packs or the trial deck. The nice thing about the trial decks is any of the decks that are in trial decks can be turned into budget decks, in my opinion. You can build a solid deck out of them for about $100, I'd like to say. I mean, when I say budget, in Yu-Gi-Oh! A budget deck is probably closer to about $150, because in Yu-Gi-Oh! You have to work with more cards. But in Vanguard, I would say budget would be $120 at the most. And you can probably build a good Vanguard deck for that. You know. But, like, all these triggers, guys, I mean, you can either pick them up, like, our locals has a 10-cent box, and, you know, so you can literally pick these up for nothing. Whenever I do trades, guys, if there's triggers or commons you're looking for, you can tell me what they are. I have, guys, 5 boxes, literally this big, and they're shoved full to where they almost can barely shut, full of commons. And then I have another big, like, it's a Bath and Body Works bag that I just had in my house, and I just put a lot of extra commons in there, taped up with a, not taped up, but tied together with a rubber band. So if you guys need commons, I will be more than happy to trade them to you, and if it's a pretty dead time, I'd be willing to even send them to you, because I really have no use for them, and I'd rather some other fighter card fighter get use out of them than them sitting in my room. So if you do need commons, let me know. I'm a nice guy. Grade 1s. Again, this is really where the budget is not going to hurt you at all. I mean, the only card, if you were going to build budget, is going to hurt you is this. Now, I wonder, I have not looked him up in a while. Let's look up Star Vader Promethium. Dadgummit. Oh. Star Vader Promethiums. Yeah, they're about $20 right now, guys, and that's why I picked up a crap ton of them. Like, to give you an idea, I research cards daily to see what they're going for so I can get my trade binder as best as it can for my channel. Like, okay, guys, those 3 Star Vader Promethiums right there. Those are for trade. In my trade binder that is on the channel. If you haven't seen it, I updated it today, actually. And then this extra set right here, that's up for trade too. And I really picked up a second set originally just because if I ever wanted to build a second Link Joker deck, I'd have a second set. But, you know, cards like this, I study them to see when they're going to shoot up in price. So that way, when they do, I have them. That's why, guys. For example, Ethics Busters. This card, when it came out, was like $15 because there was really no consistent Nova Grappler deck that was winning a lot. I mean, sure, there were decks that you could mix it in, and the deck would win more than not because you had access to this card. But with set 13, this card's going to go up in price. That's why I have no problem picking these up. Same thing with, you know, Genesis Perfect Guards. Genesis is a really good clan, but it's not going to be exceptional until set 14 gets here. But if you were going to build budget, you could probably still build a budget deck with 120 and spring the $80 on this. 20, 40, 60, 80. And sometimes you can find them on eBay. I found, like, I've seen them on there at times go for 15. Maybe sometime you can get one lucky and get lower than that. But if you are going to play a budget deck, you still need your perfect guards. No, so you can probably build a budget Link Joker deck for under 120 and still spend the money on this. And then the rest of your grade 2s, guys, like Mobius comes out of the trial deck. Radon comes out of the trial deck. You could probably pick him up for about 5 apiece, and then these right here are worth nothing. This guy came out of the set 12, and this came out of the trial deck. Now, if you're going to build budget with Link Joker, you need to decide. You need to figure out. Okay, am I going to buy? Where did I put? I am missing a stack of cards. Okay, and then the rest. Okay, going back to grade 1s real quick. This is out of the pack. Out of the trial deck, the 10K Attacker, Neon. and then out of the trial deck. But if you play budget, you're not going to need these. I mean, set 12. So, as you can see, just looking at your grade 0s and your grade 1s, the only thing you're going to be spending a lot of money on is your perfect guards. And then going on to your grade 2s, unless you are going to buy 4 Link Joker trial decks and shove them together and then go from there, the only thing you're really going to have to spring money for are your 12k attackers. And then looking at your grade 3s, this is where the money comes in, guys. As I said in my Link Joker video, this card is very crucial to Link Joker. It's probably the most important, well, let me rephrase that. It is the most important card that Link Joker has, and that is their Break Ride, Infinite Zero. He is probably going to cost you about 15 apiece. You know, it's just how it is, because every Link Joker deck needs it. That's that one card that you're just going to skate around. You might be able... See, my theory is, when I sell a card, I'm willing to sell it to you for cheaper, and if I trade it to you, I'm going to want a little bit more. And by a little bit more, I mean maybe like $2 extra in trade, you know? I mean, that's just how I operate at times. But it also depends on the want for the card. I've let cards go away for near nothing just because I have no use for it, and I would rather give it to someone who can have a use out of it, as long as I'm getting something back that I myself find at least acceptable. To give you an idea, guys, I had a Final Fantasy 13 hardcover book, and I found it, you know, I found it in my room, and I had an extra one, because I work at GameStop, and they give me free shit all the time, and I was just like, I have no use for this, so I'll take it to Vintage Stock, which is kind of like it's kind of like a secondhand game store, and you can turn in your stuff and get trade stuff for in the store, or they'll literally just give you cash for it on the spot. And he was going to give me $1 for it, and I looked at him and I said, "Come again? $1 for this? It's $35, brand new." But I didn't do it. I ended up bringing it home and giving it to a friend. But my point being, guys, there are some things that you're just not going to be able to skate around. This right here is something every Link Joker deck needs. If you can't afford it, then I would say get Twilight Barons. I mean, they are 12k attackers on the rear guard, but this is something that, like, for your Link Joker deck so far that we've seen, you're definitely going to want your Perfect Guards, and you're definitely going to want your Break Ride, which is Infinite Zero. As for your grade 3s, I would not consider there's a Nebula deck out there that is considered budget. So, to answer your question, Bob Smith, and anyone else out there who might be considering to build Link Joker, but you're playing within a budget, your best bet is to play the Schwarzschild Ride Chain. Now, I wonder... I cannot for the life of me think off the top of my head right now. Hang on, guys. You're gonna listen to me Google search here for a minute. I want English, please. English, please. Okay, that answers my question. For some weird reason off the top of my head, guys, I could not remember if Schwarzschild was a Star Raider or not, but because I've never played him, so I never really paid him any mind. But Schwarzschild is your way to go if you want to play budget Link Joker. And the nice thing about that, now that he's on a Raider, you really don't even need to buy the trial decks, because Radon's going to be worthless to you. But I would still invest in these, because you still would like a Break Ride to Break Ride Schwarzschild onto. That way you get full access to his ability. So if you want to play budget Link Joker, I definitely recommend Schwarzschild. If I ever do get hold of Schwarzschild, I will make a deck for you guys, and I will post it for you. So thanks for asking. There you go, guys. There's my thoughts on budget Link Joker. Thanks for watching. Alright, subscribe, thumbs up, and I will see you guys